Hello, and welcome to What's Your Story. We're so glad to have you with us today because we have a very interesting show for you and some great guests. My guests are Katelynn Campaigne. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes.
Katelynn Campaigne, who is the activities director at the resort at Charleston Peak, and Stephen Murray. And Stephen is an author of great renown. He's written many, many books. And today we're going to be talking about the book fair, which is going to be held at the retreat at Charleston Peak, right? So, why don't you start and tell us a little bit, Katelynn, about what it is, about what the book fair is, and why you're having it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are having the book fair because we think it's a great opportunity to bring the community up to the retreat to meet 30 local authors and give them the chance to purchase their book in person and get to know them and have the authors explain about their books to them in person.
And it's a wonderful atmosphere for authors and also for the people who are going there.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Yeah. And Stephen, what is the part that you're playing in all this?
Well, I helped get the 30 authors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a book signing there before the new ownership took over, and I was up there at the beginning of the year, and I met Katelynn and asked if I could have a book signing there, and she said, "Do you know any other authors so we could make it into an event?" And I thought, wonderful. And so I said yes, I could get as many authors as they needed, and we just worked together as a team putting it together, and they had so many tables, and some of the authors are bringing their own, and we figured out the space, and we came up with 30 authors, and it's fantastic.
It's a great idea because it's June 22nd, right? That's a Sunday. And June is when it starts to get hot here in Las Vegas. And of course, it's always beautiful at Mount Charleston.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always. And so it's a great time, I think, for families to come out and enjoy the scenery and the fresh air, and you've got great food up there, I understand.
Yes.
And to meet 30 authors, that's amazing to have 30 authors in one place at one time.
Yes.
And they write everything from novels to self-help to what?
Oh, every genre imaginable, Judy. We've got romance, murder mysteries, crime fiction, historical fiction. There's even some erotica, some LGBTQ.
Some sci-fi I saw.
Yes, some sci-fi, adventure, paranormal, children's books, young adult. There's every genre imaginable there. It's going to be a great group, and I think the Vegas Valley, the literary community is huge, and I don't think it's ever really got the recognition that it deserves. You know, we're known for entertainment in other areas, but not necessarily books. So it's wonderful that the retreat came up with this idea to have an author fair up there. And I certainly thank Katelynn for initiating it and making it happen.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Now, what is the format? If people come up, are they able to just speak one-on-one with the different authors, or the authors going to have time to talk about their books? How is the format of the day?
Well, there'll be two authors at each table, and we'll be in the lobby, I understand, and Katelynn will clarify that if I give out misinformation. But when customers come up, they can talk to authors as long as they like, and they can ask questions about their book. There won't be anybody specifically speaking per se in front of a crowd. The attendees will just go from table to table, find out whatever genre they're interested in, speak to the authors, and
I think
have
it's
the
a
opportunity
wonderful
to purchase the
opportunity.
books and get the book signed.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people to get to meet authors and also to find out more about maybe writing their own book or how they get published. And because a lot of the writers that I see that you have that are participating are people who can tell you pretty much how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. And some of them are members of the Henderson Writers Group, I know. And so there's a lot of information that they can give out to people who want to be writers as well as people who want to buy books.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, we've been going up there for 23 years ever since I moved to Las Vegas, and it's under new ownership.
Yeah.
And you're putting a lot of events together,
Right.
different kind of events. So there's probably a lot of people that have still never been to the retreat, and it'll be a wonderful opportunity. And as you said, there's a great restaurant. There's a sports bar where people can go and sit and have a drink.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 degrees cooler because it'll be the second day of summer. So,
Yeah.
What kind of food do you serve up there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the restaurant will have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For lunch, we have different burgers, sandwiches, there's salads, there's appetizers, there's steaks. So I feel like there's a little something for everybody. A lot of options.
Yeah, and especially if the fair is going to be from 10:30 to 2:30,
Yeah.
it's right around that lunchtime. So I'm sure a lot of people will come up and go to the fair and have lunch, and maybe even spend the afternoon because they want to. Some people get confused as to the difference in the Mount Charleston Lodge and the retreat at Charleston Peak. So tell them exactly where the retreat is located.
So if you're going up the mountain, it's about 15 minutes up the mountain. We are right after the roundabout, and there's a church right across the street from us. So we are not all the way up the mountain.
Okay, so about halfway up.
Yeah, maybe even a little less. But we're right there after the roundabout, across the street from the church. On the left-hand side.
Yeah. Now, does the retreat have rooms where people can stay as well?
Yeah, we do have lodging. So we have 62 hotel rooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place. There's lots of hiking nearby. We have, the restaurant, like we talked about, the bar, the hotel rooms. And like you mentioned as well, we're under new ownership. So we have lots of great things, lots of renovations. And we do a lot of weddings and corporate events, but we'd love to do like this book signing and like more events that aren't necessarily weddings, to bring people up and to get in touch with the community.
I think it's a great idea. And, a lot of people may like to just come and spend the weekend and attend the book fair.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Well, I plan on staying Saturday.
Are you going to?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we're booked to spend the Saturday night there, so I can get up early Sunday morning because I'm not an early morning riser. So get up at a reasonable time, go and set the books up, and then when it's finished, I don't necessarily want to drive all the way back, so I'll spend Sunday night there as well.
I might just do
We've
that.
been spending
too.
a lot of. We've been going and spending time there for years at the hotel rooms, and they're nice, comfortable rooms. It's just a nice getaway place. You wouldn't believe that you were within half an hour's drive of one of the most
Vegas.
lively metropolises in the world.
Yes.
It's just so quiet and peaceful up there.
But you know what? It's grown. It's grown. When I came to Las Vegas, that building wasn't even there. When I came to Las Vegas, and we used to go up to Lee Canyon, and they had brooks running through, and my family used to have picnics up there on weekends and things. And now that whole area has grown out that way, that side of town. And so it's not a very long drive from Las Vegas. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to get there, right?
Yeah, it's not far.
Yes. And you were talking about the events. Last time we were up there, we saw you had an arts and crafts event coming up for the weekend as well. There was a big sign saying arts and crafts show. So
yeah, we have
putting things like that on as well.
Yes. Yeah. Right now we have, we just finished having a women's retreat. So that was a 3-day event, and that was super fun, super nice. And so it's not just weddings, but we definitely have the space to do a lot of different type of events, whether it's indoor, outdoor. So we're looking to expand that. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful. Yes. It's wonderful. Now, what's the weather like at this time of year in June? How would they dress to come? Should they bring a sweater or?
No, I think the weather's perfect. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. Definitely about 10 degrees cooler than being down here in Vegas, but the weather's perfect. It's not windy. It's not snowing.
Good.
Yeah.
I haven't known it to snow in June.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, tell us a little bit about your books that you're going to have there.
I've got 6 self-published books. Two are mainstream. They're about a fictional Las Vegas wedding chapel. We are the marriage capital of the world here in Las Vegas, and people come from all over the world here to get married. It's a bit of a conundrum, really, because we're known as Sin City, and yet we're the marriage capital of the world. So that seems a little bit at odds. But so it's a book about love. It's not romance per se, but it's a series of stories as to why couples come and get to Las Vegas and get married. It's all fiction. And the reader spends a day at this fictional wedding chapel. And it spawned a sequel. Readers wanted to know what happened after these couples got married. So the sequel takes place 5 years down the road and revisits all the couples in the first book. And then I have a cozy murder mystery called Murder Aboard the Queen Elizabeth II. And that's a fun read. And then I have the seedy side of Las Vegas. I have a crime fiction called Discreetly Yours. That's about three ladies who work for the most exclusive escort agency in Las Vegas. And the gentleman that runs it treats them like dirt. So these three ladies, his A-team, they decide to come up with a perfect crime to get rid of him. And the mystery part is, did they actually come up with a perfect crime? Did they actually get off scot-free from the murder? Or did they overlook one little detail that brings everything crashing down? And then after that, I decided I needed to get rid of all this sin and slime that was inside of me. And so I wrote a nice, warm, fuzzy Christmas book called Discovering the Christmas Spirit that came out around about Christmas time. And the last book was a paranormal book, very light-hearted paranormal book. And I know the viewers will probably say, how can you have light-hearted paranormal? But there is. You know, you think of Bewitched, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. They're all light-hearted paranormal. So those are the 6 books I will be promoting. And they're all clean, fun, easy reads for everybody. There's no graphic violence. There's no graphic sex. There's no expletives. Sorry, that may disappoint a lot of people, but those are the tenor of my books. Your grandmother could read them.
That's wonderful. I wanted you to tell us about your books because you do a variety of different books. And I want the audience to see that it's not just going to be like one set of books about Las Vegas. People often think authors from Las Vegas write about Las Vegas, but we write about a lot of other things as well.
Oh, yes. Yes, in fact, looking down the list of authors, I'm not too sure there's anybody else on this list that's written a book about Las Vegas or will be bringing books about Las Vegas. Some of them, well, yours, you know, you'll be bringing yours. You've got self-help books and you've got 2 books that are set in South Africa.
Yes, yes.
And as I said, there's some biographies here, and they're not all set in Las Vegas. Absolutely not. There's something for everybody. I could pretty much guarantee it.
I think it's wonderful. I'm so excited about doing it because, you know, sometimes as a local author, people don't see us as being as important as authors from other places. Isn't that interesting? That it's like, if you're from here, well, you're just from here and you're just somebody, but you're not anybody. You know, but if you're an author from New York, now that's another thing. They make a real big deal over it, you know. So it's really nice to have them making a big deal over us.
Well, I think Las Vegas, it truly is a creative vortex when you think about it, because we've got so much imagination here. You think of all the theatrical shows there are. You think of all the restaurants there are, different types, different qualities, different prices. There's all these authors, there's art galleries, there's artists. Look, here's Katelynn. She's coming up to the retreat and she's initiating now all these events. She's an event coordinator at this retreat. They never had that before. Yes, they had weddings, but she's trying to be creative. And that's what I'm saying. I think Las Vegas is a creative vortex. And I don't think it's always recognized as such.
No, I don't think so either. I'm working with an author right now that's written a book, a fascinating book that is Las Vegas in the 1930s. And it's about her grandfather.
Oh,
and her grandfather built the first ever hotel on Fremont Street. And in, I think, 1932, something like that. And it's called the Apache Hotel, and it was, and that corner is still owned by the family. It's where Binion's is now,
Oh,
and that corner's still owned by the family of the Silvanis that they leased that property out. But her grandfather started the very first hotel there, and it had in 1930s it had a convention hall that seated 200 people.
Wow.
And he brought conferences like you. He brought groups there, and they were just building the dam then. It wasn't even built as he was building the hotel. So it's really fascinating when I look at it and I see how far we've come from. I'm
Sure.
loving working with her on that book, and maybe next year at your fair she'll be there. With her book because her book is just amazing. She wrote it because she said she didn't think it was fair that everybody talks about Las Vegas like when the mafia was here and the mafia started it, but they really didn't. Her grandfather built the first ever hotel.
Wow.
And so she wanted to tell the real story. And I've been reading it as I've been editing with her, and it's fascinating.
Wow.
It's fascinating.
It's exciting.
So that'll be fun to get other authors like that as well. If we can make this an annual event, it would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
When we talked about it when we were originally setting up, Katelynn said depending on how it works out, we could make it a regular, either every 6 months or every year. There's plenty of authors that are always interested in attending these multi-author events. On my newsletter, there's over 150 local authors. And I don't know all the authors in Las Vegas. I'm not a member of the Henderson Writers Group. I'm sure there's tons there that I don't even know. But yeah, I have over 150. So
that's amazing.
Whenever I send out these multi-author events, there's always an immediate mass response.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sign up.
So there's food and there's hotel rooms. Are there horses? Is there any activities that people could do while they're up there, like horseback riding or hiking or anything in addition to attending the book fair?
Yeah, so there are, I want to say 12 to 20 hiking trails. So depending on, if you want something that's, not too crazy, we have brochures at the front desk in the lobby. And then also we're really close to the visiting center, and the visiting center has lots of information on the different trails. But I definitely recommend hiking. There's lots of trails. It's super beautiful.
I'm just thinking June is going to be a great time of the year
Yeah.
to be there. I would like to
Absolutely.
go and hike around and look at things and pick up pine cones and do those kinds of things.
There's lots of pine cones.
Yes, no shortage of
Definitely.
pine cones.
No shortage of pine cones. But even if so, like in the back of the retreat, which is the area where people usually get married, there's a beautiful area where you can overlook the canyon and you could take pictures and you could have lunch out there. So even if somebody wanted to come up and not necessarily go on a hike, if they were in like a time crunch, they could still order from the restaurant, take their food outside, and enjoy the scenery. So if they wanted to like go outside and, have somewhat of a picnic too, we have picnic benches, but they could definitely utilize the outside area.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm so excited about it because I know a lot of the authors that are going to be participating. We're going to put up a list of their names in the background here somewhere. And John always does that after we get through filming the show. So I never know exactly. I want to point, but I don't know where do I point, but he'll do it. He'll make it happen. It'll probably be in the What's Your Story block there, but he'll be, why don't you just tell us who some of them are? You've got the list there.
I have a list, so I'll rattle them off. They're all in alphabetical order. Deanna Adler, Britt Allen, Albert Arango, Ned Barnett, Paddy Duffy, Andres Fregoso Jr., Brian Gardner, Dee Perdue Henderson, Susie Johnson, Courtney Kaplan, Ann Kimbrough, John Lawrence, Gail Marie, Terry Maui, Judy Morio, that's you, Stephen Murray, that's me, we're together on this list, Rick Newbury, Debbie Prince, Dawn Ramos, Fred Rayworth, Valerie Runyon, Nancy Scherer, Mika Shine, Skylar Talley, Lauren Tolman, Tonya Todd, Marianne Unger, Michelle Weeman, Joanne Wilkins, and Kitty Zlomke.
That's great.
That's the 30 authors.
That's amazing that you got 30 authors all in one place. I think it's quite a
Mm.
feat that you've accomplished that.
No,
Yeah.
we have multi-author book events in Las Vegas quite often with 30 people. And,
Yeah. And of course, they'll have their books for sale, right?
oh yes. Yes. There's a lot of excitement about this event. I think because it's a new venue. That, to my knowledge, they've never had an author fair or book fair like Katelynn's put together here. As I said, I've had a couple of book signings there, and I think the very first time I went up to the retreat back in 2003 when we first moved here, in the lobby there was a table and 3 authors were sitting signing their books, but they all had books about Las Vegas. And so I knew they had them, but I don't think there's ever been a book fair
Like this one.
not with 30
Yeah.
people.
This is exciting. It
Uh,
really is.
And there's a lot of excitement amongst the authors too, because I think it's just different. And some of them have emailed, they said they've never even been to the retreat.
Oh, goodness.
So it'll be a nice, they've been meaning to get there and never actually done it, but now there's a compelling reason to go. So, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And sometimes it's not always about selling books either. You know, it's nice, obviously, to sell books. That's the goal. But it's just nice, a change of scenery. You meet other people, dine in a different place. They've got a new chef there. We were up there last month, and they've got a new chef. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. So, Katelynn, tell the audience again where the event is and the address. So we will put it on the screen, but tell them so that they know where and when to go.
Okay, so it's going to be Sunday, June 22nd from 10:30 to 2:30. The retreat on Charleston Peak, so it's 2755 Kyle Canyon Road. So we're just slightly up the mountain. We're going to be right after the roundabout across the street from the church. And you got to come.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us,
much.
Judy. It's been a wonderful experience, and hopefully we'll see a lot of the viewers out there.
Absolutely.
So I hope you'll join us at the retreat at Mount Charleston at the Charleston Peak, and join us on June the 22nd. And thank you for joining us today, and come back and be with us again real soon.